Hi, and welcome to Corpay Complete, Mastering AP Automation, 5 differentiators that really set Corpay apart from all the other AP automation vendors out there. We really appreciate Stoneridge Connect for having us today, and we will dive right in. Today we'll cover who is Corpay, 5 key automation differentiators that we see in the space, because we know that there are numerous competitors out there. We'll dive in and take a couple sneak peeks at the Corpay Complete product with a live demonstration, and also define some of the security and managing risk elements to the payment automation space. And we're going to wrap it up with a winner. We are going to draw the winner of our AirPods today. So getting started with who is Corpay, some of you may think Corpay seems pretty new to the Microsoft space. And I guess we are in some ways, but others very not so at all. Corpay is a company that's been around for over 50 years, a Fortune 100 organization that really has been developing an end-to-end AP automation suite of solutions. And they purchased, in the top left there, Paymerang. Paymerang purchased QuickTag about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. So that's really where kind of the embedded nature, product, feature set, and knowledge comes in the dynamic space. So QuickTag had been building document management and invoice automation solutions for over 25 years. Paymerang layered in the payment automation components, and we've landed in our forever home with Corpay Complete. And we're super excited about it. A phenomenal organization they were founded really on the card side of the business, fleet and fuel cards, and they've really continued to transform their business with technology and automation solutions that can really support their customers end to end in that AP spend management cycle. And some really exciting elements to highlight here is that these guys process over 1.8 billion transactions per year. We also have 4 million vendors on our network. That's 4 million vendors that we know exactly how they want to be paid. Is it by check, ACH, or virtual card? And if you don't know much about the virtual card, we'll get into that here today, but it is pretty exciting. We've got over 600 vendors that are already accepting payments through the vendor card through the virtual card, which really in turn equates to rebates for customers. And that's the exciting part. Over $800 million paid out annually to our customers. So we're going to dive into those differentiators within the AP automation space. And this is one I am so proud of. I've worked in the Microsoft channel for almost 20 years, selling automation, but never having a full suite of solutions and tools. That's not the case with Corpay Complete. This is one platform, one UI that allows you to leverage AP automation, purchasing, and that complete total spend management in one solution. That's one UI. So that's what you see right here. When you've got on the left hand of the continuum, you've got procurement and purchase orders. Certainly have invoice automation. That's what, that acquisition with QuickTag really brought to the table. Leveraging AI and machine learning to ensure that we know exactly who that vendor is, make recommendations for GL coding, or matching for that 2- and 3-way purchase order. Payment automation, that's really the last leg of the mile where, hey, we've automated the entire requisition, invoice process. Now that we have the payments, let's not stumble there. We can continue to provide an automated path to really ensure your vendors get paid as rapidly as possible, but also most securely. And we'll get into those details today. The right-hand side of this continuum highlights really how you can continue to expand this really across employee spend. All in one platform, you'll be able to navigate across invoices and payments, but also to the corporate card side of things. Maybe you're leveraging physical cards for employees that are out and about and traveling. We've got you covered with our corporate card program. Really robust administrative tools, all within one UI and one user interface, so you can lock down spending maybe by a particular user group. We obviously have purchasing cards here as well. We'll see that a little bit in terms of a ghost card within our requisition management tool and our demonstration today. And then we certainly are going to support you on the expense management side of the house. So if employees now have an out-of-pocket expense, how do they get reimbursed? That's easily done through Corpay Complete, that one UI, that one user platform that is seamlessly integrated to your D365 Business Central and F&O environments. The power with that really ensures that as we're creating requisitions, approving and coding invoices or expenses, that we're able to tie it back to your D365 implementation, your chart of accounts, your GLs, your dimensions, your projects. So that's the key component. Corpay Complete is really kind of that core universal platform that's going to be able to connect back to your ERP, your system of record, to ensure as you create any of these transactions that they're coded correctly. So that's number one, manage both AP and employee spend all in one platform. Our next one is the requisition management component with Punchout. This is hugely powerful within the space. There's a lot of players out there that do invoice automation and maybe some form of payments, or they'll do invoice automation and requisitioning, but they don't have it all, and they certainly don't have it all with Punchout added in. And I'm going to pop out and we'll go into our live demo here so you guys can see exactly what that looks like. And the exciting part for the Punchout component really is that it allows your user to feel as if they remain within the shopping experience that they're used to. Sorry, navigating around to a couple platforms here to highlight the requisition tool for you. But it allows the user to feel as if they remain within the buying sequence that they're used to. Are they making a purchase through Amazon? If so, they absolutely can do so through our platform. And I popped into the wrong profile here. But when we see this, we're going to create a new purchase order. We're going to build from a catalog. My integration punches out directly to Amazon. So again, that end user has the buying experience that they're very accustomed to. So I'm going to say wide office chair with wheels. I want to make sure my dog can sit next to me while I'm working. I love this. It's leather. It's going to match my office. I'm going to go ahead and drop it into my cart. Now, something to note in the top right-hand corner here, it does say, hello, Tiffany, account Cruelify. That's highlighting my integration right there. So it knows exactly who I am. I'm going to go ahead and proceed to checkout. As I do so, you're going to see a little bit more flavor around that integration. It's highlighting that I'm integrated through a Cruelify. That's my demo account. It's got a PO number here already reserved, and it's going to ship directly to me. Now, you have an option to get an invoice, but I think you heard me mention we're the #1 B2B MasterCard issuer at the top of the call. We definitely got started in the card space here. So I have a purchasing card, an actual ghost card. No card was issued here. This is a MasterCard we have on file for any of our Amazon purchases. So I'm going to say yes, use this payment method, and boom, look, it's saying I require an approval. But it's as simple as this: submit order for approval. And it brings me back to that one UI. It brings me back to Corpay Complete. So here I'm leveraging that integration back to my Business Central environment to ensure I can code this requisition unique to things that I need to capture for Business Central. Up here, I do see that I need to grab a department. I'll say it's for marketing. You'll also see down here in the line items, it's pulling forward all of the information we just selected directly from Amazon. So there's my crisscross chair for $71. It's defaulting the GL account, but it's still wanting me to capture some things at the line item. This could be locations if you've got multiple locations. Oh, if you have multiple locations, absolutely. Department, this could be multiple entities if you're leveraging the out-of-the-box binary stream, or if you're leveraging out-of-the-box multi-entity, or even binary stream multi-entity management. You can capture budgets, you can capture jobs and projects as well. So this will be flexible, configured, unique to what dimensions, what GLs are required to be captured specific to your business and the way that you have configured your Dynamics offering. And I actually screwed up a little bit here today. I went directly into the requisition, but if we rewind to number one, that one UI, I definitely want to highlight for you guys the one UI that's available for you within Corpay Complete. It's one UI, but at the end of the day, you guys have the ability to configure whatever solutions make most sense for you. So in the PowerPoint, I highlighted for you that we have the requisition management or purchase orders. We have invoicing. We have payments. We have expense management. We have cards. I have all of that configured here within my demonstration environment. But this is modular in nature. So you're going to have the ability to, address whatever your main pain point is out of the gate. Maybe that's invoices and payments, and you want to add cards at a later date. You'll just see a shortened menu over here on the left rail and less actionable items to take advantage of here. Since we are getting started with AP automation in our conversation today, and we realize that many people, when they think of invoice automation, they're definitely thinking of the invoice component, I thought I'd give you a little sneak peek into the tool. I've navigated to the inbox, all the invoices that are coming into the solution electronically. They can also be uploaded as needed, but we're going to bring those invoices in and pass them through our AI engine, our machine learning engine, to ensure as AP starts to work those invoices that we have all the necessary information available to us, right? We want to be able to navigate to the appropriate invoice and know that AI and machine learning has done its job. And that's what we see here. On this invoice, it came in from AstroTurf. What we've already captured here on the invoice is the vendor information, the invoice dates, amounts. We've got a purchase order number on here. We've been able to capture all of that detail. You also can expand the invoice, make it a little larger so it's easier to see. You can even add supporting documents if you need to. If it was a credit memo, you could convert that over to a credit memo that easily. If you needed to capture notes, you could do so here under the Messages tab. You could also save it and come back to it at a later date, maybe if it's a purchase order invoice and your receipts aren't logged yet. But because of that integration, bi-directional integration to Business Central, we do know that receipts have come in on this. We do know exactly what is on the purchase order. But beyond that, our system has been able to analyze what we need to draw your attention to. So there's two line items on this particular purchase order. We'll start with the one that is in green. Green check marks plus. We're seeing that things are looking good. We see that we have black paint for $1.60, quantity of 1 directly from the purchase order, and we do have receipts logged against it. That's exactly what we captured and extracted directly off the invoice. So that's beautiful. But we did see that there was something noted in red. So we're highlighting here that there's something off or amiss. We have a quantity of 5. Yes, that should be at a total of $60. But if we scroll over here, we'll notice that the unit price came in at $13.65. But that's not what it was when we originally issued. It was $12 when we originally issued that purchase order. So it's immediately alerting you what you need to focus your attention on. So could you reject this invoice and send it back to the vendor? Absolutely. Could you also short pay that invoice as Business Central would allow you to do? Yes, we certainly maintain those same flexibilities within the application as Business Central does as well. So I could go ahead and update that to a $12. And as I do so, you'll now see we're both in balance. So we're in balance now to support that invoice. You can obviously initiate workflow. Since it's out of balance, you can have different workflows that ensures that maybe it goes back to the original requester. If it is in balance, you can simply approve it and move it through to create a purchase invoice real time within Business Central. And that's the key component here. We are connected via API. So we're always looking for object changes. Is there a new purchase order? Is there a new receipt from Business Central? We look for that every 5 minutes. But when we match the final stage of workflow, when we need to create an invoice or approve a payment or approve a requisition to become a purchase order, We create that transaction real time within Business Central. I am not going to walk through the entire approval process because I think you guys can imagine what some of that looks like. And I got a little flavor to show you here in a minute as well. But I do want to highlight one element that we get asked a lot about. Because we are connected with your Business Central environment, your finance and operations environment, we're able to ensure that you can code to dimensions, GLs, but also companies. And binary stream mem is a big question we get quite frequently. And I just want to highlight here, this is an invoice that we processed. Here's the invoice over here on the right-hand side. And it really just highlights how we're able to split one particular invoice that's being paid out of company 000, but we're able to split that invoice across 5 different companies with our Corpay Complete API integration back to Business Central. So what we covered here today, I hope what you've seen, what we've walked through is we've got one UI, one user interface for your team to log into and be flexible in nature. Whatever you guys deploy, they'll be able to access through that same application, Corpay Complete, whether that's invoices, expenses, requisitions, that's all available to them directly through the one UI. On the requisitioning side, or as we create purchase orders, we certainly have the ability to create POs and punch out to those premier vendors like Amazon, Thermo Fisher, Office Depot. Fantastic advantage. But our third advantage here is actually mobile friendly in nature as well. So this is a huge component that our users have really demanded over the years, is that we need to be able to offer a mobile friendly solution, not just an email approval, but we need to be able to have an app. And that's what we're able to offer to our customers through Corpay Complete. So let's go ahead and I'll give you a quick peek at our mobile application here. The mobile app is going to be the same scenario. It's going to be configurable, unique to whatever tools and solutions you're using. So if you're using just, invoices and payments, that's all you would see, versus here I'm seeing POs, invoices, expenses, and cards. And you'll see here, these are all the different approvals I have the ability to access. So if I look at the purchase orders, I've got one that's pending here. You'll see that it has the details of the purchase order at the header level, but it also has those PO line items. We've talked a little bit about requisitions where we're leveraging punch out and going out to a shopping cart from a premier vendor, but we obviously can query any inventory items directly from your Business Central environment. Here we would highlight exactly what accounts would be debited. We'll include any supporting documentation, maybe that's the quote, but you can approve directly from that mobile app, absolutely. I'll navigate to invoices, and here with invoices, it's the same scenario. You've got all the details of your header, your debit entries, any supporting documents, and you can approve or reject. Now, if you reject, it does require that you enter comments here, absolutely. It's not going to allow me to type in a comment here in our demo environment, but that's how simple and easy it is from your mobile app to be able to reject an invoice. It'll go back to the original sender. It always wants me to navigate a certain direction. When I log in, there is a dashboard guiding me directly to where I want to be. I can also set up notifications to come in real time or a summary notification at the end of the day. You also can leverage our expense management tool. You can add a receipt directly from your mobile phone, choose from a library of receipts. And as you do so there, you can quickly, navigate to adding those additional receipts into the app. And we will leverage artificial intelligence to extract a great deal of information off the receipt to streamline the processing. I've clicked around a little too much, but I think that really highlights for us exactly what it would look like in terms of mobile friendly. I'm super proud to ensure that it's not just approval by email, but it's a mobile app that allows you to review and approve any purchase orders, invoices, payments, or expenses. And it also will allow you to initiate an expense report. So number 4, coming right along, and our 5 key differentiators sits right on top of international payments. We do handle international payments in over 200 countries. And part of the reason of doing so, I'm skipped forward one slide too fast. Obviously, part of the benefit here is that there are many organizations and competitors in our space that will certainly handle the invoice and the payment automation, but they may not do that fully managed. They may only handle North America, but that's not the case with Corpay. We make more than 4 million international cross-border payments just in 2023, and we partner with over 100 banks. Across 6 continents, making payments in 200 countries and 145 currencies. So if you are global in nature and you are struggling with, those conversion rates and making payments, we certainly can support you here on that front. Now, one thing I do want to highlight is we got started here talking about the invoice process, how we can automate the invoices, how we can automate the requisition, even if it's a punch out through Amazon, bringing in the invoices, doing that 3-way match, highlighting the variances for you. Once those invoices are approved, we do move into the payment piece. We just touched a little bit on the international piece. But if we look at the 3 charts we have going on up here, in the gray is what a typical AP process looks like that's very manual in nature. You're entering those payments, you're routing them likely by email or even by interoffice mail for review and approval. Then you've got to create 3 separate files to issue payments by check or ACH. You might not even be doing card, or maybe you're doing card through your bank. You've got to provide that file to the bank. You got to provide a notcha file for the ACH payments. And then you got to take the very tedious task of mailing the checks. Field all those vendor questions, do the reconciliation, and handle exceptions, and then obviously reconcile the individual checks, ACHs, and card payments. That's the more manual process, right? It's not a lot of fun. I'm sure it's certainly time consuming and can, come with errors as well as fraud. There are many players in our space that are bill pay providers, but I do want to highlight today how they are very different from Corpay, who is a fully managed payment provider. The big difference that's going to go on between these 2 charts here below is that when you are leveraging Corpay, we are going to automate that entire front end, the invoice automation, and then you approve a payment batch or a payment group within BC or within F&O. That gets transmitted electronically directly to Corpay, and we go to work making those payments on your behalf. We're issuing checks to those vendors that absolutely require it. We're issuing the ACH payments. We're sending the card payments and or processing your global international payments. So you have a 1-step reconciliation process back to the single payment you made to us. We're doing the reconciliation of the checks, the ACH payments, the virtual cards, and the global payments. But what's really powerful in this component, operating in that Corpay level, the fully managed payment level, is that you're certainly going to gain tremendous efficiencies. It's estimated 31% efficiency gains when you go with a fully managed payment process. But I think the more exciting component, the more compelling component, is that it's also going to provide a layer of security for you. Once you transmit that payment file to us and you make your 1 payment for that payment group, we take on the liability. We're now drawing directly from our account, not your account. So this really safeguards you as an organization. So not only are you going to streamline the process, but you're really going to amp up your fraud prevention when you leverage a fully managed provider. I know we're going to get tight on time here, so I better keep rolling along. We already covered the international payments. I'm going to land on the last one here, which is we have the largest network within the industry in North America. So in the payment automation space, we have 4 million vendors in our network, and 600,000 of those vendors are already accepting electronic or virtual payments. And what that means is our vendor enrollment rate is 2 to 3 times the industry average. That means you're paying more vendors in a more secure fashion than the other banks or other bill pay providers out there today. But that also means that there's more rebate available to you. I do want to highlight that payment fraud continues to be on the rise. We're going to see some new statistics coming out that the ACH fraud is amping up even more than we've ever seen before. Business email compromises and fraudsters out there are overtaking email and getting people to change ACH account information. You don't have to worry about that. We will be managing how we pay your vendors. If there is any request to update that ACH information, they're going to go through our security protocols, our human reviews before we update that information. And again, we are drawing those funds off all our accounts, so you're already protected in that vein. Some people say, hey, Tiff, what is a virtual card? It is a 16-digit card. Unique digit card issued once, can only be processed once for the exact amount of that vendor payment. That vendor payment could be $14,443.22, but that could be making up 8 different invoices. So they have to process it for not 1 penny more or 1 penny less. And that's what really draws down the fraud rate within the virtual card side. That's why the vendors love it. They get their money fast. It's all about cash flow, right? Because it's being sent to them electronically, and it's the least fraud ridden. It's lower in cost. We process those at 0 cost for you. So I just know I'm getting tight on time here. So again, that number 5 differentiator is we have an unmatched vendor network to ensure that we can pay your vendors faster, and you also can earn greater rebates, just like you have a credit card in your back pocket. If you start leveraging virtual cards to make secure, rapid payments to your vendors, you're going to earn rebates and rewards with us 100%. Oftentimes offsetting any of your automation project cost. So we ask for a vendor file so we can go in and analyze. You're paying X by check and ACH now, and we'll be able to tell you with our match rate, we're going to be able to reduce checks to X, we're going to be able to increase ACH to this, but we're also going to be able to layer in the virtual card. You'll know exactly how much you can anticipate receiving in those rebates, offsetting cost before you get started. So again, all-in-one AP automation platform. Certainly hope that you'll reach out, ask any questions that you may have with us. You can come to our virtual booth. We're here and happy to talk all things requisitioning, purchase orders, invoice, payment automation, card and expense. Visit our virtual booth, absolutely. And thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating in Stoneridge Virtual Connect. We've always loved this event. And drum roll, please. I'm going to turn it over to Stoneridge, and they're going to announce the winner of those AirPods.